this is becoming an advocacy master chef. This came to be because every single person up here, I believe, we like food. So it's not surprising that we made the name of this becoming an advocacy master chef. But these fine folks are all here to share a little bit about themselves, talk about the secret sauce that has made their program or their approach to customer advocacy successful. So without further ado, I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and also to get things started, because we're people before we're professionals. What is your signature dish? When you guys introduce yourself, and I don't care, microwave popcorn counts, whatever it may be. And for this, we'll just, if it's all right, we'll go right down the line. So I will start with Miriam.
All right, is this thing on? Yeah. Hi, I'm Mariam. I work at OutSystems. We are a market leader in low code. I just have to say my recipe for success, gosh, I think I'd be lying if I said I had a signature dish. To be honest, anything that my husband makes me, so probably his spaghetti bolognese or my mum's biryani or something. I really don't have a signature dish. I'd be lying.
Hi, I'm Jenna Feldman. I am a customer advocacy manager at Genesis. I'm based in San Francisco, and I think I make a pretty good salmon. My secret to getting really good salmon is to sear it first and then bake it so that you get kind of a nice exterior, softer interior, which I really like. And I always pair that with some kind of starch, like a potato, sweet potato usually, and then some kind of vegetable.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Huntley. I'm the Director of Global Customer Engagement at Nuance Communications. I am based in St. Paul, Minnesota, and I like to think that I make a mean chocolate cake. The secret is really strong hot black coffee in it.
Amazing. Hi, everyone. I'm Jeff Gable. I'm the Customer Advocacy Lead here at ServiceNow. I'm based in Boston, and my signature dish is shakshuka. It's free form, a lot of spice. For those of you who don't know what shakshuka is, it's like eggs in purgatory. Similar.
For Allison Bukowski, the Senior Director of Product and Customer Marketing at PeerSpot. I asked my family, chocolate chip cookies came, I was hoping for something a little more exotic, but chocolate chip cookies, but the secret is brown butter. If you haven't done it, it's worth it. And my daughter, who just recently was diagnosed with celiac, so gluten-free fried chicken has become the new go-to in our household. So I want to kick this off. And if you get bored with some of these answers, you know what you can talk to these folks about their signature dishes. But let's talk a little bit about customer advocacy, and let's get the big question out of the way. What is the secret sauce? What is the secret ingredient to your success? And let's start with Jeff, actually. Jump all the way down.
Absolutely. So I think our secret to success is looking at advocacy through a lens of hospitality. So think of yourself as a sommelier. You are the expert in your customers. You know what the best pairings are. You go to your stakeholders and you can help matchmake opportunities, what's best for the customer, what's best for the organization. So you want to elevate their experience by being the master of the customers, but also provide them with a really great experience. So look at your own programs with the lens of hospitality and how can you elevate everything that you're doing and protect your customers as well.
For us, is this on? Okay, sorry. For us, I think you all just heard from Brenda Hodge. She is our secret sauce. But in addition to that, the model that she has helped us build, the things that are included in that are, one, being on the same team as our speakers bureau. We can go to her and she can rattle 15 things off the top of her head that she wants for customers to do. So we can go to our customers and say, hey, are you interested in doing this, for those that express an interest in speaking? Also, the onboarding interviews that we conduct when we bring a client into the program to say, you know, not only what do you want to do, how often do you want to do it, so we can make sure that we're doing the blocking and tackling on behalf of the organization and not asking them for more than what they want, but also kind of giving them that holistic way to share their whole entire story of their experience in working with Nuance. And I tell them, tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you want my CEO to see it, he will see it. So it gives them kind of the ability to know that we're in their corner, helping to advocate for them, another advocate for them within Nuance, which is really valuable because we're a big company and we just got a whole lot bigger with the Microsoft acquisition.
And actually, I'll go to, Miriam, why don't you field the next one?
Yeah, I'd say giving back as much as you get. So I'm super passionate about this. I see so many advocacy programs, customer marketing programs where they just take, and they forget about giving their customers value. I'd say we're as focused, if not more focused, on the give, driving more value for your customers as much as we are on obviously driving value for ourselves. So in our program, we offer a ton of VIP benefits to our ambassadors, is what we call our advocates, and yeah, it just makes a whole big difference, and just you can really just get the most out of your customers that way. And customers who feel valued, right, who feel engaged, they typically spend more. That really is true. So yeah, I'd say just giving back.
For us, it's difficult to choose just one ingredient. I think there's a lot of different things that make up a good secret sauce, but kind of going off of what Miriam said, for us, it's really about listening to our customers and finding ways that we can amplify their voice and grow their personal profile as well as their professional profile. In our situation, we have found that our customers really want to network with each other. They want to meet not just their peers, but also meet with leadership. And so we've found opportunities to create user groups, to create roundtables, our executive advisory boards, which we're excited to be hosting for the first time in person next week. And so that's just become really crucial to us to, again, not just be taking from them, but making sure we're giving something back.
And I'll be short and sweet, but keeping with the theme, for me, it has always been the buffet and offering the buffet of opportunities, engagement opportunities for our customers. Customer advocacy is not one size fits all. You have to allow your customers to engage with you, your company, and your program in a way that they're comfortable. And not everyone is going to sign up and rush to sign up for the same thing. And if you offer those options, much like a decent restaurant, right? If your dishes are good, they're going to keep coming back, and they're going to keep coming back more frequently. So variety is the spice of life. Let me toss another metaphor, food metaphor out there, but that's what's worked for me. So I want to make sure, kind of like yesterday, that there's time for questions from the audience. And I promise we'll toss a little game into the mix, but are there any questions just right out of the gate based on what you've heard here about these secret ingredients, secrets to success, that you want to pause here and toss out there? Anybody? Yeah, it's Caitlin.
Yeah, of course I can. So I'd say, even if you don't have budget, right, there are so many things that you can do to give back to your customers. So there's a couple of things that we do. One of the first ones, and this is what so many of our customers love, is actually getting VIP access to experts. And also it gives you an opportunity to get to know people internally, build a case, right, help them connect to customers and build that line of communication. So we have product webinars once a quarter with our product experts. We also have product Ask Me Anything, kind of like virtual group chats with our product teams. That's like 30 minutes where they get to live chat with our product teams on Slack. And again, Slack itself is actually one of the benefits we give them. So we have a whole other communication channel for our ambassadors. So they have their own space to hear updates from us, like, product updates, customer updates. We have a help channel where they can kind of go around support and get like VIP access to us. Also networking opportunities, and we give them opportunities to connect with other customers. We do these things called ambassador exchanges, and those are where our customers hear from other customers about their best practice. It could be cultural, it could be topical, it could be technical, and those are really, really great. We also help with things like awards, nominating our customers for awards, and all that kind of good stuff. There are so many things that you can do, and like for awards, I mentioned about the budget. Even some of the big ones like Gartner, like ION Innovation Awards, it's free. It's free to nominate your customers. So look at some of those, and you'll be surprised at how much your customers, want to get recognized and feel special by you if you reach out to them about some of those things. But I'm happy to talk anytime if you want to get some ideas.
And that opens the door to all kinds of things. They might tell me, I love this. This has been amazing, or this has really been a pain point for me. And then I get to share that with product or with the CSM. Like no one else is on that call. It's just me and that reference person typically. So they're free to kind of share everything with me in kind of a trusting environment where I'm not trying to sell them anything. They've already agreed to join my program. So they're on board. It's just kind of a listening session. And then we also do ask what types of activities do you want to participate in? How often do you want to do them? And then that just comes down, we put it in our database and it's tracked that way. If we use them and they hit their quota, they're done. And we do not allow them to be contacted again. And then of course we find that once they trust that if they raise their hand and say, okay, I'll be a part of your program, I hope it goes okay. And we do everything we can to protect them, they inevitably will do more than they initially thought they were going to do. Does that answer your question, Steve?
And yeah, Jeff or Jenna, you want to tack on to that?
Sure. I think that onboarding step is really crucial to developing that relationship, but also curating their experience. So when you ask them for a reference call, I think it's really important to say, like, this is why I think you're such a great match. Going back to, you know, the wine example, like, this is why you're curated for this person because I think X, Y, and Z. And that allows a much higher percentage of, you know, matching for your references and them agreeing, oh, I think I can get this out of the conversation. And also I can share this. So when you really listen to your customer and help them understand that you paid attention and that you think that this is a great match for both, then that's a win-win situation.
And let's do one more, Andrew.
I didn't quite hear.
Oh, let me, yeah, I can repeat it. Is anyone having conversations when it's a lost deal? When something closes, and are you having conversations with those lost customers? Yeah, with the customers or conversation in general around the why.
I don't want to hog the conversation. We have a team that does that. We have a win-loss team, and they share it automatically. If they have any clients that say as a part of those conversations, they're willing to be a reference, they punt it over to us to kind of investigate and see. But we also do learn a lot from those no conversations too. And it's highly, I mean, I can talk to you more about it and how that team is structured if you'd like. Yeah. Under solutions marketing.
Okay, great. I'm gonna see, this is why I like to break in the middle. Otherwise we run out of time for questions, and Dana will keep me honest on how much time we have. But I'd like to just to pose, let's do the flip side question to the group here and ask, you know, when you guys are, you know, creating a dish, right? Or you're working on a recipe, what ingredient you're almost there, and then you find that it's missing, like it's not in the pantry or you can't get your hands on it in order to be successful, AKA what's the barrier to success? Actually, why don't I, Sarah, start with you and then go to Jeff.
There's so many things that we could always use help with. You know, resources, time is always in very short supply. As well, you know, the perennial struggle with sales, sharing their relationships. We're, you know, constantly working to train new salespeople, bring them, you know, on board with our program. But one thing that's just been like, I've been struggling with a lot lately, our team has been, is logos. Every quarter, people are coming to us like, can we use this client's logo? Can we use that client's logo? And we have not cracked the code. Like, we ask him in the onboarding interview, but if you're asking somebody that's a director at a major shipping conglomeration in the United States, can we use your logo on our website? They're not gonna say yes. And I'm not gonna ask them to take that, you know, so it's tough. And I would love to know if anybody has cracked that code. Please talk to me.
I think the biggest challenge for us is in metrics and dashboarding. And thankfully, we do have an amazing operations team. So I do want to give them a shout out. But I think just proving to your sales leaders, and we've talked about this throughout the conference already, but knowing your metrics, bringing it to the sales, and just letting them know, you know, what you want to achieve with the advocacy program. So just making sure you're key with those success metrics.
And Mariam, and then Jenna right after you.
Yeah, I'd say for us, it's, or for me personally, it's probably bandwidth. The one thing that I would, and specifically when I'm talking about bandwidth, it's the one thing I'd love to spend more time on, but just never have enough time. And sometimes a customer doesn't have time, it doesn't work out, is actually those introductory calls with customers. They are absolute gold. And I'd say the best relationships that I have with my customers start out from those ones where I had that 1 hour introductory call with them, right? I think there was a question asked around, you know, what do you ask in that call? And there are so many things that you can glean from that first conversation. So I would just love to have more time to talk to every customer. I just don't. So I feel like I'm missing out on speaking to so many amazing customers because just there's not enough hours in the day. And, you know, one of the key things is really asking about themselves as people, as humans, right? What do they do outside of their work, right? What motivates them? It's really, really important. And I'd say my best relationships come out of knowing people as people, you know, beyond what they do for work. And that you can use to your advantage as well, right? You know, it could be a personalized gift that you send them. It could just be an icebreaker that when you start a conversation, people just warm up when you ask them, you know, not like a robot, like, you know, the typical questions in your case study interview or whatever it is. It's ask them how they are, how they're doing, you know, whether they have kids, you know, what's their favorite dish, whatever it is, anything you can think of. Those are typically the best conversations that I have.
Great. Jenna?
Yeah, for us, headcount and bandwidth are something that we, I hear a lot of people chuckling in the room. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but it's something that we would love to have more of. You know, we're pretty fortunate to have a fairly robust customer advocacy team. I've met a lot of people here who are teams of 1, 2, 5. We're a team of 12 full-time employees, which is great. And we have a lot of coverage in a lot of areas. But as our business continues to grow, so did the number of reference requests and advocacy opportunities and interviews and case studies, et cetera. And we are just realizing that we could use, each of us could probably like to clone ourselves twice, and we'd probably be in a better place. So, you know, an example is we're a global company at Genesis. So we have a ton of different asks and requests that come from all over the world. And we have an engagement director position on our team where they're kind of extensions of the account teams. They really help to build up some of our strategic accounts into our top advocates. And we have mostly all global coverage except APAC is a region that we really struggle to get coverage in. And that's something that we've been looking for. And we'd love to get some headcount with that. But unfortunately, money does not rain from the sky. And so we haven't been able to figure that out yet.
Yeah.
I add one.
Sure.
I just want to add one really quickly because I'm currently working on something which is a referral program, and that's something that's been missing in our advocacy mix, where our customers can easily refer their peers to our product. You know, when it comes to cost per lead and conversion rates, there's really no comparison to a referral program, right? Peers referring peers. So I'm working on that now. I'm getting a bit stuck, but hoping that we're going to get there. If anyone has, you know, any tips and tricks or already has a great referral program, I would love to hear from you. So please find me.
I think that I'm just curious real quick. How many of you have a referral program? Not a reference program, a referral program. So take note. There you go. The people that you can connect with. I'm gonna bypass me. It's not that important. My barrier is very simply put, often understanding from the top, and I mean actually understanding what customer marketing and advocacy is. But I want to pivot just a second so that how many of you are familiar with the Food Network? How many of you are familiar with Chopped? Okay, good. And you get a chance to take this home with you right now. Yeah, it says whisk taker, English major. Remember, I like a play on words. So we don't have picnic baskets and we don't have ingredients necessarily, but what I would like, and it's the first person to raise their hand to take this lovely thing home, is like a challenge ingredient. Like we're just talking about them, something else that hasn't been mentioned, and toss one up here. And one of the panelists will tell you how to creatively or tactfully tackle it. So I'll give you like an example, head count. You can't use that one, but toss out one of your challenges, first person, first hand in the air, there. A weak account management team. I will let you guys marinate over that for 20 seconds while I pass this somehow, make that way to the back. Who wants to take that? A weak account management, customer success. Can I kind of bundle them together?
Can you define weak? Like say more about it.
Define weak. So lack of ownership of accounts, or people not really knowing who's got the ownership, who's on first. Is that fair?
And does it mean that there are fewer happy customers because of that? Or is it more just that you don't have the alignment?
Let's break, here, I'll break it apart. How about that?
Okay.
Let's go with, let's not touch alignment for right now. Let's just go with confusion over account ownership. And let's have that one out there. I think that's how I would define the weak account. Does anyone want to grab it, run with it?
I can say, confusion over account ownership that's your opportunity to be a hero. Like I sometimes reach out to to account teams about customers and say, because I'm looking at them for advocacy or whatever else, or a story or something, and they have no idea, right? Or they're like, I haven't talked to that customer in ages. I have no idea. You can use that opportunity to say, well, hey, do you mind if I, join your next call? Do you have an upcoming call? Do you mind if I reach out to your customer and build a relationship with them? And actually, it's probably because they have 100 customers to deal with, and it's maybe a smaller one or something like that. And you can actually use that to your advantage and start building relationship. And maybe you become that point of contact for that customer. And they'll probably thank you, right? Or you can go back to them and say, hey, I've got all this gold about this customer. Did you know? Or maybe you're coming back and you've got this great candidate and it just is a customer that hasn't been nurtured, but actually they've got an amazing story or an amazing champion that could be a great speaker. So I'd say use it to your advantage.
That's good.
This is like the squid guts of Chopped. So definitely challenging ingredient. I think I mainly see this when you have account transition. So you have musical chairs in your sales department. They take over a new account. They either haven't touched it or they haven't gone in deep yet. So yes, I think being the hero, helping to collaborate. Sometimes advocates move to other accounts, and then you can also introduce the advocate to the new AE, share some of the background, help transition some of that success, and really just matchmake and bridge build. So I think advocacy folks are bridge builders, and if you can bridge build connections, then that's the key.
Nice. Anyone want to toss out another one? We can rapid fire this a little bit. Oh, that's fun. Who wants to take the bad data question? Oh, she's brave. Go for it, Jenna.
This is like the grease fire in the kitchen,
Nice.
It's an issue. We have that. We experience that. I think the biggest thing for us is with our team is making sure that we are really getting to know our customers, and we're doing our best and making it a goal and part of our KPIs to actually make sure we're updating the systems properly. As I mentioned, we have a role on our team called the engagement director, kind of extensions of the account team, and they're able to really dive in deep with our accounts and regions and get a really specific core details about the account and their advocacy interests. And so being able to use that to update our systems is really great. And they are constantly engaging with the account teams. So making sure, we've actually, as our customer advocacy team, taken the responsibility to keep our CRM system updated and our data relevant and present. And now that, as we have taken that opportunity beyond just the sales teams, it's really helped actually, I think, clean some things up.
Nice. Do anybody want to do one more? And you could go home with this, which, yes, these are the threads that made an appearance yesterday. Do you want the threads? Because I was kidding and I would happily just. That's exactly why, because this is a one-way ticket that this got to Boston. Does anybody have one more? Yeah, right there. Expanding customer advocacy program to a new product line. Did I summarize that? Fair enough. You want the moo-moo? All right. The moo-moo is going to hang out right here. So anybody want to take that one?
I think it's about aligning with the product teams, with the sales teams, getting to know kind of what we refer to at Nuance. I don't know if this is the term everybody uses, but lighthouse accounts. Who are those first ones that are kind of going live? And so you can be tracking their story. So the second they're ready to talk about why they chose you, or the second they're on the next step of how their implementation went, or now that they're live and they're getting, getting some good results. You could pounce, but you have to have that internal alignment in order for them to trust you with those customer relationships. And so, I mean, I guess that's kind of what we're going through that right now at Nuance with a new flagship product. So we're in a lot of people's faces right now.
Thank you. Okay, I think we just have a few minutes left, so I want to toss, oh, I've got 8 minutes left. Then Amanda can toss her chop challenge. Fair to summarize that is balancing the give take with customers that are in your advocacy program. Anyone up here want to grab that one? Nobody wants to.
I can.
I'll say this, and then if somebody wants to tack on to that, I do track that actually. That is one of the metrics that I keep track of is how many asks have been made and how many engagement opportunities versus, so that I do have some visibility into customer fatigue is very real. And that's what happens when you only have like 5 rock stars and you're going to them 67 times. You can't do that. And then you have to be comfortable with the pushback or the pushback before the ask, which is more helpful, which is, all right, I understand that you want that, but what's more important? Do you want them speaking at that analyst event? Or do you just want a reference call? And, balancing it. And if you have the data to back you up on that, it's very helpful so that you can, show that you're going to exhaust them if you overwork them.
Share one thing there, which is when it comes to your engagement opportunities. So what we have is like a very open ambassador program at our system. So any customer can join at any time, and there are no mandatory commitments. And I think that's always going to pay back because even if someone signs up and they don't do something for a year, they're still going to get in that year all the great benefits, right, from being part of your ambassador or advocate program, whatever it is that you call it. So I think they're more likely, to do more if they feel like they're getting stuff without having to do anything, right? So it's not like a give versus take, right? Regardless of, our customers and how much or how little they're advocating, they're still going to get access to all of those great benefits by raising their hand and saying that they're part of our program. So I would just try and keep a really regular calendar of engagement opportunities.
Whatever time we have left, I'm happy to open it up to everybody else. So every good chef in a restaurant, you have a mise en place, which is essentially just means keeping organized so that you don't get into the weeds. If you watch Top Chef, you hear that all the time. What advice do you have for folks here today to set themselves up for success in their kitchen/office advocacy program? And 60 seconds for each of you, and we'll start with Miriam.
Yeah, I would say listen is a really key one for me. Listen to your advocates and find out what kind of advocate type are there. I don't know if you're familiar with Forrester advocacy types. So it's validators, educators, status seekers, collaborators, and not everyone is going to fit into one, right? They might overlap with 1 or 2, or maybe they're part of 3, but that will help you understand the kind of person that they are, what they're interested in, and what motivates them. If someone quite clearly is not someone that is interested in speaking, or it kind of makes their skin crawl, right? Like, I am not a public speaker. I hate public speaking, right? This is out of my comfort zone, but I'm just about doing okay.
But you're doing a great job.
Thanks everyone. That in general, it's not nice when you're being asked that, especially like, if someone has said that to you, don't go back and then give them something that they're really not comfortable with, right? It shows a lack of respect to your customer, to your advocate. And maybe they'll be more comfortable along the line, and you can find that out later in, check-in calls or something, or maybe something's changed and they decided that they're feeling more confident about whatever they're doing with your platform or your product. So I'd say, listen, find out what kind of person they are. And again, just reiterating, there is so much to be said about finding out about the human aspect of people, right? Find out what they do outside of their day job. That's kind of like my real key to my success, I think, is in terms of building relationships.
Good deal. Go right down the line. Jenna?
Really understanding the why behind their advocacy versus the how, right? Not just how are we going to get them to do something? How are we going to get them to be an advocate, but why are they doing it? I mentioned this earlier with listening to your customers and understanding what's really valuable to them. We have a loyalty program at Genesis. We call it GCAP, Genesis Customer Advocacy Program. And one of the first questions I ask when people join is, why are you here? Why do you want to join? Why do you want to advocate? And I would say a good 90% of them is because they want to network and they want to meet other people. And through that, though, another thing that's so important is make it fun. I mean, I think what we do is so fun. I mean, we get to talk to people all day. We get to meet new people. It's fun. And we're people, right? People. And I think whatever you can do to put in that holiday party for your customers, find that cool speaker, find that cool presenter. I am like definitely going to look into speed painting as an option going forward because I was so impressed. You know, stuff like that. That is what is so great. And that'll make your customers sticky and want to keep coming back.
That is a really hard act to follow, Jenna. That's so true. We are so lucky to get to have such fun jobs. This taps on a little bit to what you said too, Miriam, is just being curious, staying curious will never serve you wrong in this job. Want to know about your people, understand them and ask them questions, and also your internal stakeholders too. What's going to help them? What drives them? I'm sure I'm annoying people all the time with asking way too many questions, but curiosity is always going to serve you well. And then the other thing too is rely on this community of amazing professionals in this room. I came to this conference last year and left so inspired. I didn't know that there were all these brilliant people that do this work in the world. And I was just like, I have all these new friends that I can rely on and ask questions of. And I mean, this is a room full of helpers. So reach out to anyone in this room. I know all of us would be happy to help one another.
I think setting clear intentions for how you want to deliver your hospitality and be known for that. So whether that's creating surprise and delight experiences for your customers or delivering quick SLAs for stakeholders in your own organization, really be known for that and go above and beyond. The other component I think that's really important with restaurants is they have a daily meeting, a daily stand-up that talks about the specials, talks about new wines. So think about that for your own organization, how you introduce new case studies, how you talk about customers that you've recently onboarded, showcase that to the rest of your organization. We just onboarded someone new. They're a great reference. We have this new case study, just drill it down over and over so they get used to, delivering that and showcasing your advocacy assets.
That's great. I'm going to go against everything that I have stood up here and said and not be customer centric for a second. I'm going to be us centric. If you have a notebook or a piece of paper, if you're taking notes on your laptop, write my menu at the top of a piece of paper. And on that are your priorities. Keeping your priorities straight and having your priorities agreed upon by your manager up the food chain and having it handy at all times so you can push back when you get asked to do 50 other things. And I don't care if you stick it on your computer screen, just remember what you're focused on. And if somebody tries to change the focus, just ask the why. Why am I changing my focus? And how would you like me to deprioritize something on the list so that you can stay active, you can stay focused and organized, which ultimately then does deliver a better experience for your customers. So those are the questions. I don't know if we have any time left, Dana, for any questions. She's like, no, you are totally out of time. Okay. Thank you, everybody. The Moo Moo will be at the Pure Spot booth. Should you someone wants it, first come, first serve. Thanks, guys.